Hello, hello. Welcome to Conversations with the Future, where we interview ambitious teens with big dreams and inspire you to start working towards your dream career while you're in high school. My name is Okey, and I will be your host for this show. Stay tuned because you are not going to want to miss this. Hello, welcome to the second episode of Conversations with the Future. Today is a special day because we will be interviewing three high school entrepreneurs. These are exemplary students who have started successful businesses and are thriving in their academics as well. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with all three of our young entrepreneurs today. Today's interview will be a little bit different than what you guys are used to listening to on this podcast. This interview will be split up into three parts that follow the initial stages of entrepreneurship, which are ideation, the planning, and the execution. And in each of these parts, our young entrepreneurs will be sharing their insights and experiences from each of these phases. And my hope is that at the end of this episode, you will all have the tools necessary to embark on your own successful business ventures in high school. So now it is time for us to start introducing our guests. So Taha, Jemimah, and Emma, if you could please all introduce yourselves to the audience, that would be wonderful.
Hello, my name is Emma Massis. Thank you for having me, okay? I'm truly excited to be here today. I go to Ridley College. It's my 12th year, actually, and I'm graduating this year. My favorite sports are soccer and field hockey. And I, along with my sister, embarked on an incredible journey in the summer of 2021 when we launched our company, Live M Jewelry. What sets our e-commerce jewelry business apart is our unwavering commitment to making a difference. We're proud to share that 10% of our business's profits go to the Shoebox Project, which is a remarkable charity that offers support to women impacted by homelessness.
Amazing. Taha?
Hi, I'm Taha. I am the co-founder of Decoding the Mind and the founder of MTX Visuals. I go to Craig Kilberry Secondary School, and I'm also in grade 12. So I started my business in graphic design, and Decoding the Mind is my passion project that I made with a couple of friends, and we try to battle mental illness and create a safe space for teenagers around the world.
Amazing. Jemimah?
And my name is Jemimah. I'm the founder of Blitz Bundles, an e-commerce website dedicated to selling luxury hair products worldwide. I'm in my 12th year at Holy Trinity Catholic Secondary School in Oakville, and I'm very interested, like aside from entrepreneurship, I'm really interested in fashion, athletics. I play a lot of sports like volleyball, basketball, and track. And I'm also really passionate in leadership. One thing that I think my business has also taught me was really valuable skills in leadership and strategic planning.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I personally am so excited to have all of you guys here today because you are all so inspiring and you have done wonderful things throughout your high school journeys. And I think this is going to be an excellent opportunity for everybody who's listening to learn about your experiences, and people who are interested in starting businesses should definitely crack out those notepads and start taking notes on some of the insights and tips that our entrepreneurs will be sharing with us today. So, without further ado, let's get into the interview. So, the first section of this interview will be based on the ideation phase of the entrepreneurship journey. Ideation is the very first stage, and it is the goal here is to identify and validate a profitable business idea. So, the first question that I have for all of you guys today is what motivated you to start your business apart from money, and what was your inspiration?
I would say that my path to personal growth began with the ancient symbol, which is the evil eye. I can show a couple of like what our bracelets look. It's like little evil eyes. So honestly, the evil eye represents empowerment and protection, and it's not only changed my business, but also kind of my perception of this leadership. So this trust in the evil eye was this constant theme in my family's tradition and my grandmother's stories as they grew up in Macedonia.
Mhm.
So for those of you who don't know what the evil eye is, it's kind of a symbol that channels these positive intentions and um, it's a sign of protection. So I started Live M Jewelry in 2020 with my sister, guided by these lessons of the evil eye, which not only strengthened our bond, but also taught us how to navigate through these challenges as leaders. Honestly, our love for colorful jewelry making began in the summer. We started creating summer jewelry for ourselves with these evil eyes, the symbol that was important to us. And we loved the way it looked and made us feel, and our friends would even give us positive feedback on it. So we started the business from there.
That's amazing. Taha, what about you?
Yeah, that's really cool. Mine isn't as cool, but mine just started from being passionate about basketball and watching the NBA and stuff like that. I was in a little community of basketball fans, and we would talk about basketball all day long. And over there, I met a couple of people who did sports designing and stuff like that. And then that's how I started to get into graphic design and started my Instagram, and then made my way from there.
Incredible.
And for me, I would say mine is also not as interesting. I had done a project for one of my business classes, and it was actually about selling hair online. And one of my teachers had been like, "Oh, this is a really great idea. Like, you should do something with it." Anyways, later on in the year, in my second semester of grade 11, I ended up actually creating the idea, and I found that doing that first business project is what really ignited my love for it. And I also have a passion, for like graphic design and stuff and like online marketing. So I felt like that was a great way to tie in my passions along with making money.
That's incredible. I love how you guys have incorporated your passions and how they have strongly influenced your business decisions. Because, in my opinion, passion plays a very important role in the life of entrepreneurs. So, yeah, I'm sure that you would all agree that your interests have really fueled this entrepreneurship journey and have helped you guys to be very successful because you love what you're doing, right? So, yeah, next I'm going to ask you guys kind of about how you came up with your product ideas because you kind of, you have your initial ideas of, oh, I might want to, for example, for Taha, you're like, oh, I might want to create some designs. Emma, you're kind of like, oh, I might want to create some nice jewelry. But what helped you guys to create those specific products that you're selling today?
When it comes to crafting our jewelry, our inspiration can come from a variety of sources. We're very passionate about creating these pieces that reflect our personal style and values,
Yes.
which kind of differentiates us from different jewelry companies, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Our product ideas are strongly influenced by this captivating evil eye trend, which has this deep cultural significance and symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
The evil eye has always fascinated us with its unique blend of aesthetics and meaning. And in addition, I'd say customer feedback is also plays a vital role in shaping our product ideas. We listen carefully to our customers, whether it's requests for specific variations, what's in trend, and we try to flow along with, I guess, what's trending, incorporating it to our personal values at the same time.
Amazing. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, for MTX visuals, there's two sides to it. There's the freelance side where it's more so order based. So I'll work with some clients and we'll talk about what they're looking for and more so personalize it for what they need. So if it's like a league or an association, they might need a template or something like that that they'd like to post on their social medias,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll ask me to make that. And then the other side would be so more so like apparels and posters and stuff like that. I think I showed it a little bit earlier, but in the background I have a couple of posters that I made. And yeah, I sell those. I'm currently starting to get more international with where I sell, but currently it's very local. But yeah, in terms of my product ideas, they're very I for the posters. I like to make posters. I like music and I love sports. So I think that's where my product ideas spawn from.
Incredible. And Jemimah?
And for me, I think it took me a little bit to figure out what product I exactly wanted to sell. I started off, maybe thinking, oh, should I sell wigs or should I just sell bundles? What type of hair extension should I sell? But what really what I really liked personally about selling bundles itself is that you're giving the creativity of endless opportunities to the customer. With different bundles, I love to change my hair like multiple times. And I know a lot of people in the Black community and in my community love to change their hair and change up their hairstyles. So I felt that doing bundles was a great idea because you're able to buy, one bundle that can last you for up to 5 years and you can use for so many different hairstyles.
That's amazing. Yeah, coming up with product ideas is definitely one of the things that a lot of people have a really hard time with. And I'm sure that it took you guys a while, like you said, to kind of come up with what you wanted to do. It wasn't just like a clear cut process. Um, but I guess kind of an extension of that question is how did you confirm that there were people out there who needed your product or wanted your product? Because there's always the risk that no one will want to buy the product that you've come up with, right? So how did you make sure that the products that you created and you began to sell were actually something that were, desired by consumers, if that makes sense?
Yeah, for sure. My sister and I began our journey with this small jewelry business out of pure passion and a desire to create these beautiful pieces. While there's always this risk of building something no one wants, or you're taking this leap of faith because we had an initial indication that there was interest, right? So, like I mentioned before, some of our friends started modeling our jewelry, and others began asking if we could create similar pieces for them. So
Mhm.
these early signs of interest were very encouraging for us.
Really?
And it made us realize that there might be a market for our designs. Our approach essentially has always been to focus on enjoying what we do. As long as we're having fun over creating our jewelry, then we consider this a success. So over time, as we expanded and promoted our brand more, our customer base grew, and it became clear that there was indeed a demand for our products. And it's been a journey of both passion and discovery. And we're very grateful for the support of our customers who've embraced our creations.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I'd say it's similar to Emma with we it started off as a passion and it kind of just blossomed into a business for me as well.
Mhm.
I learned the skill. I'd say that learning how to graphic design is a skill that is a gateway to many different opportunities.
It is.
And learning how to graphic design, now I can make these posters, now I can make t-shirt designs, I can make so much different stuff.
Mhm.
And there's always going to be a market for that. So yeah, it started off as a passion and then it slowly blossomed into a business. And now there's always people looking for things to decorate their room with, or things to wear, or things to put on their Instagram. So there's always going to be a market for that.
For sure. I agree. What about you, Jemima?
Yeah, as Taha said, like for me personally, I feel like there's always going to be a market for hair. Especially as a woman, I know myself that like I don't think I've ever lived a day in my life where I'm not thinking about my hair, not thinking about what hairstyles we're going to be putting it in. For
Yeah.
me, it wasn't even just to confirm whether people or not needed the product; it's how I was going to get it out there. And that's still something I'm working on. But it's the marketing, it's where you're putting it on social media to your target
Mhm.
audience. So I feel like for me, it's not even necessarily deciding, oh, like whether people or not need the product, because there's definitely a need for the product, but it's how am I going to get it to the people that need the product and how am I going to market it to them.
Exactly. And we'll be talking about that execution phase later on in the interview. So thank you so much for bringing that up. But you guys are right. The products that you guys have created, they are things that people want, right? And I think that that's a very important mindset to have. You want to create things that people will enjoy and that there will be a market for. So yeah, we're going to now shift gears to the next phase. The next phase is the planning phase, which, in my opinion, is one of the most important phases. Entrepreneurs need business plans to create successful businesses because, like they always say, a goal without a plan is a wish. So, we're going to be talking a little bit about how you guys kind of planned out what you're going to do before you actually started executing your businesses. And we're going to spend a while on that. So, my first question for all of you guys is how did each of you create your business plans? What was the process like, and what were the considerations you had to make as you were envisioning your business?
Honestly, crafting our business plans was a pretty meticulous process that involved a combination of dedication, guidance, and this clear sense of purpose, I'd say.
Mhm,
We began by gathering our ideas and our aspirations and channeled our shared passion for jewelry into a structured plan.
mhm.
And to do this, we used spreadsheets to outline financial projections, we set goals, and we create this roadmap for our business. In addition, having a mentor was essential for us in shaping our vision.
Yeah.
My dad, who has experience in entrepreneurship, would
Mhm.
offer us valuable advice,
Yeah.
and this helped us refine our strategy. His insights allowed us to address these critical considerations such as market research, your target demographics, different pricing strategies,
Exactly.
and yeah, honestly, our passion for the business was this driving force that shaped every aspect of our plan. This was like the fuel behind our focus, ensuring that we stayed true to our mission and the values that we hold.
Yeah, and just to mention before Taha talks about how he created his business plan, I should mention that Emma is very, 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 very amazing at business and economics. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but I think you actually won the business economics award last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
so the business and economics classes that you guys are all taking in high school, those are actually going to be very useful when you start doing things like this. Things like target demographics, things like
Mhm.
financial spreadsheets. Those are all important information and important insights that you can gain from your business and economics classes and that are actually applicable in the real world. So those are some of the classes that you really want to pay attention to if you're going to start businesses in high school and beyond. So yeah,
For
Taha, what about you? How did you create your business plan?
Honestly, I think that business plans, you can never have a just one business plan. It's always constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to adjust to what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the biggest part of me creating my business plan was making sure that I had everything down,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's really important to start, but you also need to know how you're gonna go about your stuff. Because I'd say the starting was the easiest part, but then actually promoting and marketing was the more difficult portion. Especially because I was doing this alone. There was nobody to really help me, guide me. I didn't really know anybody in the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to make friends and make my way around, get in touch with a lot of people. So I think that the most important part about creating my business plan was knowing that I just had to do it, but also knowing like that it's going to be difficult and that I need to take my time.
Very good. Yeah, you have to realize that there are challenges and there are going to be obstacles, but just taking your time to make sure that you make the right choices and consult the right people at every single stage is crucial to your success down the road. Definitely. And
Yeah. For me, something I would say that I live by is, I never really go headfirst into things. Even though I do go headfirst into, I would say, starting things, I have to have a clear set plan and a clear set goal. And I feel like having deadlines and little baby steps that you can take along the way really helps in terms of creating a business plan. So, for example, for me, it would have been, let's create my Instagram by the end of this month. Let's finish the website by the end of this date. And then let's set a goal of launching the business on this date.
yeah,
So, there's clear steps that you can take and you can see a clear outline. And if anything does take an extended time, you can always shift that deadline or outline. But I feel like that really helps you stay organized and on track of things, because I've tried to start businesses before that, there was no outline. It was just kind of like, my goal is a business.
yeah,
And you kind of really get nowhere. Like, it's just kind of like shooting arrows at like nothing.
yeah. I definitely agree with you guys. You guys have given such amazing insights so far. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna keep asking you guys questions and pulling all the wisdom that we can from you guys. So let's keep going. My next question for you guys is like what were some of the things that you knew that you like right now you know like all of the things that are involved in the process of running a business, but while you were creating the plan, was there anything that you forgot to include that you should have included in the plan as you were devising what you're going to do? Is there anything that like in hindsight you are like, I should have planned that beforehand?
Um, I think it's just important to be adaptable. The first plan you're going to make is not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about business. It's you're not
Mhm.
going to get your right out answer. Not everything's going to go smoothly. It's just important to be adaptable, be flexible.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow your plan's just an outline. You can go out like out and around, out of the boxes. You can take it any route you kind of want. So I
Mhm.
think just like I said, being adaptable was fine. And if I were to choose one thing that would maybe give me more difficulty, it would definitely be like the marketing. Marketing takes the significant amount of effort, creativity, resources,
Yeah.
and crafting our jewelry was just the beginning. We had to learn this art of promoting our products effectively,
Mhm.
especially in the competitive landscape of the jewelry market.
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably the biggest difficulty we faced that wasn't outlined in our marketing plan, business plan outline, I'd say.
That's great. Yeah. Marketing is extremely important. You definitely want to have that before you get started. Taha, what about you?
I'd say what I forgot to include in my business plan, which is honestly, now that I think about it, quite silly, but making the product is really fun. It's really enjoyable. So that's what you're looking forward to the entire time. But what most people, not most people, I forgot to do was thinking about after you have the product, how are you going to get it to the people? Because with something like a poster, it's really important that you package it well because it's such a delicate item.
Exactly.
You don't want it to get like you don't want to fold it. You don't want to at least bend it the wrong way. You don't want to rip it. So in terms of handling and shipping and all that stuff, that's a really long process, and getting the right packaging is really important. So that was the part that I left out. So that was probably my biggest difficulty. And I'd say, yeah, the same thing with the marketing. I love getting out there and talking to people. So I think most of my marketing happened locally, going around and talking to people, promoting my stuff, promoting my Instagram. But yeah, talking to people online was really difficult, especially when I relied on these bigger artists and bigger like leagues and associations like that. It was really difficult to get in contact with them and make sure that they actually knew that, like, hi, I'm here. So I'd say that was the most difficult part.
That makes sense. Then,
For me, I would say that like a difficulty that I encountered or something I forgot to go over would probably be my target audience. I think for me, I was trying to market to everyone. And although you can do that at a certain point, it's really important to, have a certain group that you're marketing towards. Because you could have a completely different group in mind, but your marketing shows another group in mind. So I feel like consolidating those and keeping those in line was something that I had forgot to keep in mind at the start.
yeah, those are very important things to keep into consideration. But you actually learn from those mistakes. You guys have learned from those mistakes that you have made. And thank you guys for sharing those important tips for planning so that people who are listening won't make the same mistakes as you guys and can hopefully create business plans that are a lot more comprehensive and that include everything that they need to have so that the execution phase goes as smoothly as possible. Now we're going to be moving in to the final initial stage of entrepreneurship, which is the execution phase. In order to run a successful business, you can have a great plan, but you have to be able to put this plan into action. That is where the real magic happens. So, I'm going to be asking each of you a series of questions that will be directly directed to each of you. So, my first question is for Taha. Taha, your graphic design business, MTX Visuals, has clients within the MBA, the WMBA, the NFL, and the NCAA. Can you talk about what it is like running your graphic design business on a day to day basis? Can you explain to us exactly how your business operates in terms of making designs for all of these different athletes from different associations?
Yeah. So in terms of day to day base on a day to day basis, it fluctuates a lot. So I might get a lot of orders from people today, and then tomorrow I get maybe one or two. And it just depends. And there's also just deadlines. And it's like clients say like, oh, I need this today, or they'll be like, oh, I need this next week. So it fluctuates a lot in terms of day to day basis, which is it's pretty good because then I can balance myself with school, because I'd say that's where my priorities are right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a day to day basis, it it fluctuates a lot. And then in terms of how my business operates for all of these different athletes, I'd say the most difficult part was getting in touch with these athletes. Like these big athletes have millions of followers. If I send them a message, they're not gonna check it. It's not gonna come to mind. But how I initially got in touch was through their agents, who are significantly less popular. They have a couple thousand followers, maybe, so I can send them a message. Maybe they'll respond. Maybe they're looking for somebody to do something for them. So I'd say that's how I got in touch with them. That was the most difficult portion. But then after that was my strong suit, like making the actual design and getting it to them. That was the easier part.
All right, cool. And my next question is for Jemimah. And you actually touched on this a little bit earlier concerning your distribution methods. So, can you tell us about what your method of distribution is? How do you get your hair products out into the world?
So at first I was looking at different methods of distribution and I finally landed upon doing almost a drop shipping model. So the drop shipping model is where you have a vendor and they obviously have your product, they hold your product for you, and they also hold your packaging, your customized packaging and
Mhm.
all of that. So whenever I get an order, I technically don't spend money on my inventory. So it's not like I have like inventory in my house that I have to wait to send out. All of the inventory technically belongs to the vendor. And then when I do get an order, I send the money to or some of the money to the vendor, and then I keep the remaining profits.
Right.
Then the vendor will customize the packaging, whatever for me, and then send it out to my customer. So this way, I'm able to do a high multitude of orders and get them to a large area space. For example, I can show you one of my packaging for one of my products looks like this. I'm ordering more silk bags, so either it will come in a packaging like this with the length of the hair and a sticker, and this does get placed in a silk bag and is placed in then another mailer that's sent out to whoever gets it. For me, I think it's really important when you're choosing a vendor, it doesn't matter whether it's a hair business or any other business for drop shipping, that you have a great relationship with your vendor. You know, me and my vendor have a great relationship. She often offers me discounts. I'm able to get certain deals on things, and she's very, very transparent about where the hair is coming from and always sends me pictures of orders before they're sent out. So I don't have any like adversary issues.
That's really, really, really amazing. Thank you so much for that piece of advice
No
and
problem.
insight. Yeah, I did not realize that that was your method of distribution, but it definitely sounds very effective. And thank you for talking about keeping a good relationship with your vendors because that's super important in order to ensure that your
Yeah.
business stays intact and that it's as successful as possible and there aren't any issues that are popping up along the way. Um,
Hmm.
I do want to ask something about the fact that you were actually participating in the youth. Is it called the Youth in
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs?
I think it's young entrepreneurs in action. Yes.
Young Entrepreneurs in Action.
Yes.
Sorry, it was slipping my mind. So you were
It's
involved
okay.
in that program that the Ministry of Education was running. So can you
Hmm.
talk about how that kind of fueled your planning and how they helped you with the business proposal and with the execution of the actual business itself, the grant,
Yeah.
how that all worked out for you?
Yeah. So I was interned into it's almost like a Shark Tank type of style competition where you go and you pitch your business idea and they're able to give you a substantial amount of money depending on how they feel about your business plan
Mhm.
and how much money they think you'll need. So I was able to earn almost $3,000. I think it was 2,700 to put towards my business. And I was really fortunate in that sense because I would say my business, one thing that was holding me back from starting it before was almost that financial component because it is very costly. um not even in terms of like the drop shipping model and stuff, but it's very costly in terms of finding a vendor. You have to try almost 5 or 10 different vendors before you land on the one that you really want, which costs a lot of money. And then websites, marketing, and like paid promotions with influencers and such. So I was really grateful to be able to have that experience. I think it helped me a lot in terms of planning because it helped me be able to communicate my business idea effectively and really understand what I'm trying to do here. When you're trying to sell an idea to someone else, you really have to make sure that everything is clearly outlined. So I feel like that helped me, really get on myself and be like, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And also let them know that, like, hey guys, this is a really feasible business idea. This is a good business idea and this is why you should invest.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for talking about that. It was a little bit of a deep question, but I thought it would be a great question for us to ask so that we learned a little bit about the program and the benefits that it brought you. And
Mhm.
you actually talked a lot about finances as well and how it is quite costly
Yes.
to run a business and to even start a business in the first place.
Hmm.
So we're actually going to ask Emma about finances. Emma, your jewelry business has been open since 2021, so I imagine you and your sister have made quite a profit over these past 2 years. So can you talk about how you and your sister manage the money and the financial aspect of your business?
Yeah, for sure. So we started by setting up our clear financial structure. This involved creating a separate business account, bank account to manage all of our revenue,
Excellent.
expenses. We keep detailed records of our income, expenses, and profits. We do all this through Shopify, which is like an online program, and it tells you all statistics about your sales and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
this allows us to track our financial performance. Furthermore, budgeting has been a key aspect of our financial management. We
Mhm.
allocate a portion of our profits to cover expenses like materials, marketing, and operational costs.
Wow.
And a fundamental a fundamental principle for us is that 10% of our profits go to the Shoebox Project, which is the charity that we're passionate about.
Mhm.
So overall, yeah, we've been very successful. We have an Instagram fan base of over 2,000 followers. We've been very successful in making revenue just on our beaded bracelets and handmade jewelry.
Incredible. Thank you guys so much. You guys are giving such incredible insights and definitely the stuff that you have been saying, like budgeting, financial planning, making sure that you are keeping detailed records of all of the money that you are receiving, your revenue. It's super important to do that in order to keep the financial health of your business and to ensure that everything is going smoothly from that financial aspect of things. And I'm going to ask all of you because you all have incredible marketing bases. I've actually taken it upon myself to make sure that I actually look at your Instagram pages for Livum Jewelry, for MTX Visuals, and for Blitz Bundles. I've actually looked at the way that you all market your products, and you do an amazing job. And you have touched on marketing multiple times, but I wanted to ask this question specifically for all of you guys, what are some of the promotional strategies that each of you use to ensure that people know your products exist? Because they're amazing products, but if you don't market it properly, how are people going to know that they're there and how are people going to benefit from these incredible products? So tell us about your promotional strategies.
Yeah, so we primarily utilize social media platforms to reach our audience for sure. Instagram is definitely our go to platform as it's highly visual and it allows to showcase our jewelry effectively. We
Mm-hmm.
post regularly, sharing high quality images and engaging content to capture our audience's attention.
Excellent.
We've also found Facebook to be a very valuable tool, particularly for creating targeted ads to reach a wider audience.
Mhm.
And something unique about our business as well is that we don't just choose different models and um, take pictures of ourselves wearing the jewelry. We have a lot of ambassadors. So a lot of our friends, family, people DM us and we post the pictures that people send us of them wearing our jewelry. So that's very unique about our page is that it's actually our brand in action, essentially. It's people wearing it and promoting it and feeling good wearing our jewelry. Um, Also, collaborations and partnerships have also played a pretty significant role in expanding our reach with marketing. Um, 2 weeks ago, we actually attended a shopping party. So we were a vendor, we had a booth, and this was a great way to market our brand and reach another audience. We've also sold stuff to a store in Muskoka before. They reached out to us if they could sell a couple of our bracelets and put a mass order in. So that's also another way we market our products.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah,
That
that's pretty
sounds
much
like a
it.
very comprehensive marketing strategy. Jemima,
Mhm.
what about you?
For me, as you know, like Emma said, I would say a lot of things that help are collaborations right now. In terms of like, pairing with influencers, people love to see hair in action, I would say, and like people love to see how the hair ends up looking in different hairstyles, and they love to see how it actually can be worn. I feel like if you sell a lifestyle to people rather than an actual product, your
Mm,
company becomes 10 times more appealing. So I feel like in the sense of selling that lifestyle to the person, selling that style to the person is really, really important. So I try to, always showcase the actual product that I'm selling and showcase the hair and how it moves and how it would be worn on a day-to-day basis is really important to me.
that's that's super smart. Like I didn't even think of that, but that's true. Whenever these amazing companies market their products, they don't just show the products themselves. They show the products in action. They show how people are interacting with the products. They're showing how it can be useful on a day-to-day basis and for your specific business, how it will look on them, how it will make them look pretty, how it will make them look nicer, or give them a style that they never thought they could have. So definitely, like both you and Emma alluded to, selling the lifestyle and not just the product in isolation is a super important marketing strategy. And Taha, what about you?
In terms of my marketing plan, it's developed a lot and it's changed a lot since I started.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started, I was very focused on Instagram because, like Emma said, it's very visual based, so I can really get my products out there, get people to see. But then once I built my name on Instagram, I think I got around 3,100 followers, and it was a good follower base. And that's when I started to get opportunities from these bigger names, these bigger associations, these bigger agents, and I realized that they prefer portfolios instead of these like Instagram posts. And that's when I moved most of my stuff over to Behance, which is a website where I can more so show my portfolio in terms of different projects that I do and different stuff that I do like that. So that's where most of my stuff is located now. But yeah, that's how I mainly market it. And like I touched on a little bit earlier, in person marketing has become really important to me when it comes to these products in terms of posters. I just did it a couple days ago. I printed a couple of posters for my friends and got them to stand there and took a picture of them holding the posters, and they were happy with them and posted them on my Instagram. Got some people to see, and later that day, I had a couple more orders that I had to do. So I think that getting your name out there is the most important part of making a business. So you need to do it in many different ways.
Great. Thank you so much for all talking about your promotional strategies with us. It's definitely super important to make sure that people know that your amazing products are out there and so that you can get the recognition and the profit that you're aiming to receive through the business. So now we're coming to a conclusion to the interview. We've gone through the three stages of entrepreneurship. We've spoken about ideation, we've spoken about the planning, and we've spoken about the execution. And now I'm going to ask you guys to give a little bit of advice to your fellow teenagers. The first question I want you guys to all briefly answer is, how are you all able to maintain excellent marks in high school while also still running successful businesses? Because I will share your LinkedIn's with everybody in the audience. And once they look at them, everybody's going to know that you guys are amazing students who have accomplished amazing things both inside and outside of school. So, can you guys talk about the balancing of keeping good academics but also running a successful business at the same time?
Yeah, so maintaining excellence in high school while running our business was a result of careful planning, discipline, and overall a very supportive environment, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, if I were to choose some of my key strategies, I would first choose effective time management. We learned to prioritize our tasks and create a structured daily schedule. We would allocate specific time slots for studying, our business tasks, personal time, and we made sure we didn't neglect our academic responsibilities because at the end of the day, you're still a high school student. Secondly, setting clear goals. I think setting your clear goals help you ensure to stay on track, having these clear objectives.
Mm-hmm.
Thirdly, I'd say even delegating responsibilities because mine's a partnership between my sister and I. So as our business grew, we learned the true value of delegating tasks within our business. My sister is attending Queen's University, so she's far away, so she takes care of the things that she can do from a distance, like marketing and promoting, talking to our customers online. Whereas I'll fulfill orders, I'll take care of the packaging. So we have clear responsibilities between what we each need to do. So I feel like that's very helpful in keeping your clear objective. And lastly, I'd just say self care. This this includes setting aside time for relaxing, exercise, maintain your healthy work life balance. It's very important. So I'd say those are my top tips on how to maintain your excellent marks while also running a business.
Great. What about Jemimah?
For me, I would say again, as Emma said, time management is really, really important. What's helped me the most are, writing lists. And I know a lot of people know like writing lists is really vital to staying organized. But for me, what really helps me is so because I have different areas of my life, like I obviously have my business, I have school, I have the gym. I actually set my to-do list all in one, but then I separate them into school, work, maybe then my business, then the gym, and like extracurriculars obviously, and I'm able to then track all things simultaneously at once, but then see them separated in the sense of this is what I have to do for school, and obviously school comes first, and then this is what I have to do for my business, and this is what I have to do for so and so. And then I would also say it's really important to take rest days. It becomes really hard when you feel like you have a lot on your plate, you're doing so much at once, but it's really important to it's okay to pause and have that one day out of the week where you don't do anything. And as someone who's applying to university, for me it's like, I have to write this, I have to do this, da da da. But it's always okay to take that rest day, because in the long run it's going to help you so much. Like there's been so many times where I felt burnt out, and I'm like, you know what, it would have just been better for me to take that day off instead of
Yeah,
then push myself, because now I feel like I can't do anything at all. So yeah, just always thinking about balance and keeping all your things in tune in life.
Yeah, honestly, my piece of advice would be the same thing in terms of work life balance, where this is a passion project, as in I want to do it. So making sure that I work on it enough where I get to grow it as a business, but also don't work on it too much where it becomes less of a passion and more of a job, because that's to me would be the worst thing. I don't want to overwork myself and making it to the point where I no longer enjoy what I'm doing, because that's what gives me the most motivation to continue. So yeah, I think that's allowed me to really just balance my life and make sure that I stay on track in school, because as Jemima said, school is going to be my priority. But yeah, just making sure I have a clear outline of what I need to do. I have a whiteboard in my room with all of my tasks and tick off one by one as I get things done. It's a good visual representation, and it's very fulfilling because it shows that you're being productive.
I definitely, yeah, I always love creating lists. And whenever I tick off tasks on my list, I'm like, yes, one done, because it's so much to do. But yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, all three of you, for sharing your insights with us today and for teaching us about entrepreneurship, teaching us about how you guys have brought your businesses from those little ideas that you thought about when you woke up in the morning to these great enterprises where you're making money and making an impact. And I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedules to teach us about entrepreneurship. Thank you for talking about all the aspects, from the ideation to the execution, the budgeting, the effective planning, capturing the audience's attention. All of these tips that you guys have given are really going to help me, and it's going to help everybody else in the audience as well. So I appreciate you guys being here today. It's really been an amazing time, and I want to encourage everybody who is listening to take some of the tips that you have heard today and start trying to come up with some ideas of what businesses you might want to start if that's something you're interested in. And remember Emma, Taha, and Jemima's tips about work-life balance, about making lists, about allocating time for working on your business and allocating time for studies, because your studies are extremely important, especially in this stage of your life. So make sure that you have your priorities straight. Make sure that you have mentors who can support you and who can give you advice along the way, people who you see who have done this successfully and you want to emulate those things that they've done. Talk to them, get advice, listen to this episode one more time to get all of the little gems and insights and to make sure that you don't miss miss out on anything that they have shared, because it's really going to help all of you guys as you embark on your business ventures and your entrepreneurial journeys. So thank you so much for listening today. My name is Okey, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.